Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jayom Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajacharya Stotra Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charnarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya BBT Founder Acharya Savior of the whole world Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajacharya Ashtotar Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind Ki Jai. नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तनम की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So very happy to have His Grace Antardwipa Prabhu from ISKCON Pune. Hari Bol. So Prabhuji had come here a couple of months back. So many of you already heard from him. Prabhuji is a very senior brahmachari from ISKCON Pune. Prabhuji completed his graduation from IIT Kharagpur, and then he was working in a very nice company, NVIDIA, for a couple of years. And he was there staying in Pune, ISKCON, and then he joined ISKCON Camp Temple in Pune. And I was fortunate to have his association during those times, in 2009-10, when I also was working there in Pune. And I was very inspired by seeing Prabhuji's dedication. Although Prabhuji used to have sometimes a lot of headache, it's that problem, chronic problem. But although with that problem, but still he was enthusiastically doing kirtans, preaching, giving classes, and all those things. So it really inspired me at that time. And Prabhuji also got the service of assisting His Grace Radhesham Prabhu in preaching, in the sense managing his schedules, all kind of secretarial duties. As you know, Radhesham Prabhu's schedule is quite intense and dynamic, and Prabhuji handles the schedules, makes it for the entire year. Right? So entire year's planning Prabhuji does. And Antardwipa Prabhu is like a right-hand man of Radhesham Prabhu in the terms of youth preaching. All the camps, any big camps, youth camps has to be done. Any yatras has to be conducted, youth yatras, or any syllabus making, syllabus coverage, any modification of the PowerPoints, everything. So it goes through Prabhuji. So in that sense, it plays a very key role in central voice. We call it a central voice, youth preaching. And Prabhuji also is very instrumental in taking care of brahmacharis in ISKCON Pune. Is part of Brahmachari Welfare Committee. And now Prabhuji has got a lot of important roles in Pune ISKCON. But still, with all those responsibilities, Prabhuji took out time to come here to ISKCON Cultural Center, South Bangalore. And we are fortunate to hear Srimad-Bhagavatam class from him today. So let's welcome Prabhuji to our temple by loudly chanting once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So it's my fortune to be here. This is a very wonderful Sangha of Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, very sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness and under the able leadership of His Grace Narari Chaitanya Prabhu. He is a very exemplary personality. When I saw him when I was just entering the gate, I saw Prabhuji is there. I said, if Prabhu gives and I get to hear, that will be fortune of mine. But then I asked Prabhuji also, Narari Chaitanya Prabhu, but then I think I should have asked earlier. So I am somewhat embarrassed and also I am protected because Prabhuji is here. So in case I make mistakes, you can get corrections also. The right purport to the things. And I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas that I can repeat the message as per Srila Prabhupada's desire, as per Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and the mood and mission of his. So we'll try to dive into this glorious Amal Puran, Srimad-Bhagavatam, for the next couple of minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutaha Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, first canto, 19th chapter, text number 16. So this is a section where Parikshit Maharaj has been cursed by a Brahmana in his ignorance, in his inexperienced understanding. But Parikshit Maharaj takes with great heart, with as a grace of the Lord, to free him from the entanglement of family life, of kingdom and samrajya, and he actually understands it as the great benediction to become absorbed in Srimad-Bhagavatam. In fact, Srimad-Bhagavatam was spoken in this situation, and thus it's available to all of us. So here he shares something that what he desires in this situation. Punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashreshu mahatsu yam yam upayami sishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dujebhyah punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashreshu mahatsu yam yam upayami sishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dujebhyah punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam yam upayami srishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Vaishnavis. Punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam yam upayami sishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam yam upayami sishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yam yam upayami sishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Translation, word to word translation, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Word to word translation. Puna, again. Cha, and. Bhuyat, let it be. Bhagavati, unto Lord Shri Krishna. Anante, who has unlimited potency. Rati, attraction. Prasangaha, association. Cha, also tat his ashrayeshu, with those who are his devotees. Mahatsu, within the material creation. Yam yam, wherever. Upayami, I may take. Srishtim, my birth. Maitri, friendly relations. Astu, let it be. Sarvatra, everywhere. Namaha, my obeisances. Dvijebhyaha, unto the Brahmanas. Translation. Again, offering obeisances unto all of you Brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, association with his devotees, and friendly relations with all living beings. So, three things he aspires for: complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, association with his devotees, and friendly relations with all living beings. Purport. That a devotee of the Lord is the only perfect living being is explained herein by Maharaj Parikshit. A devotee of the Lord is no one's enemy, although there may be many enemies of a devotee. A devotee of the Lord does not like to associate with non-devotees, although he has no enmity with them. He desires association with the devotees of the Lord. This is perfectly natural because birds of the same feather mix together. And the most important function of a devotee is to have complete attachment for Lord Shri Krishna, the Father of all living beings. As a good son of the Father behaves in a friendly way with all his other brothers, so also the devotee of the Lord, being a good son of the Supreme Father, Lord Krishna, sees all other beings, living beings, in relationship with the Supreme Father. He tries to bring back the upstart sons of the Father to a saner stage and to get them to accept the Supreme Fatherhood of God. Maharaj Parikshit was certainly going back to Godhead, but even if he were not to go back, he prayed for a pattern of life which is the most perfect way in the material world. A pure devotee does not desire the company of a personality as great as Brahma, but he prefers the association of a petty living being, provided he is a devotee of the Lord. I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas that I can repeat the words of Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara to give all of you pleasure, the deity's pleasure, and purify my own existence. So the background to this is that Parikshit Maharaj has been cursed for dying by a snake bite in 7 days. But he is very fearless. In fact, the previous verse it says, "Let the snake bird come and bite. Let whatever snake or magical bird has to come and bite me, let it happen. Let me only be absorbed in the glories of the Supreme Lord." So death may come, and actually death came also. You see, in the modern world, people have an idea of a hero. A material hero is someone like, he's about to, everything is going wrong in the movie, and then he's just about to die, and suddenly some new extra power comes in him and finishes everyone, and he remains, and they lived happily ever after, kind of stuff. But here we see that the hero of the whole Bhagavatam is Parikshit. He is about to die. He's cursed to die, and he says, "Okay, I will hear Bhagavatam," and after that he dies. It's not like he does not die; he dies. So it seems like anticlimax. So he should have lived happily ever after. But spiritual heroism is much different. Spiritual heroism does not promise this material world to become a happy place. Spiritual heroism actually, in fact, has to explode all the illusions about material world becoming a happy place. When people were through this COVID situation, there was so much of fear. If that virus enters my body, and virus has entered everyone's body almost. Everyone took vaccines till it entered also. So there's so much of fear, because when one is not Krishna conscious, he cannot be fearless. So spiritual heroism takes us beyond the mundane understanding of being victorious. Here, Parikshit Maharaj is sitting, waiting for death and ready for death, and he dies also. But his death is so glorious that for all time to come, we are going to recite the glories of Parikshit. And the Srimad-Bhagavatam, the greatest Amul Puran, has come out because of his taking such a wonderful step. So he is simply absorbed in Krishna Katha. And he desires what? So he is saying, Punascha Bhuyat. I don't want any liberation also, actually. It is not like I should go back to Godhead only, or I should, get at least mukti. But no, Punascha Bhuyat. If I have to come back again also. So then what should be my situation? I should develop attachment, complete attachment to the Supreme Lord. I should get association of Tadashrayeshu, those who are taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, that means his devotees. And I should develop friendly association, friendly disposition for all living entities. So this is a very, very important thing. Srila Prabhupada in his purport, he talks a couple of things. We'll just mention them and then we'll elaborate on them one by one. So first Prabhupada says Ajata Shatru principle. In context of Maitriyastu Sarvatra, that means he is friendly to all living beings. So Prabhupada writes, a devotee of the Lord is no one's enemy, although there may be many enemies of a devotee. That means people think he's an enemy. Oh, he's preaching Krishna consciousness, so he's obstructing our sense gratification. So they consider him enemy. But devotee does not consider them also as enemy. Devotee prays for them also. Devotee does not think that they are threatening him. And devotee does not think ill for them, both ways. So he never considers them his enemy and never considers inimically about them also. That means never considers that some harm should happen to them. And then Prabhupada writes, a devotee of the Lord does not like to associate with non-devotees, although he has no enmity with them. So there is a sense of disposition where he's not associating with them. He does not like that association, but he's not inimical also. So that is about Maitrastu Sarvatra. Then eventually Prabhupada talks about Prasangascha Tadashreshu. That means how one should associate with devotees. So Prabhupada writes, he desires association with the devotees of the Lord. This is perfectly natural because birds of the same feather mix together. And in the end of the purport, he again mentions that he is happy to associate with a devotee. Better to associate with an insignificant living entity who is non-devotee also. Sorry, who is insignificant but a devotee instead of a non-devotee Brahma. A pure devotee does not desire the company of a personality as great as Brahma, but he prefers the association of a petty living being, provided he is a devotee of the Lord. So Prabhupada is actually writing in English what Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in one of his songs, Manas Deho Geojo Kuchumur. So there is a Skita Janma Hu Yatha Tua Das. Better I take Janma in a devotee's family. Better I become a Keet, but in a devotee world I am born. Rather than Bahirmukha Brahma Janme Nahi Ash. I don't want to be Bahirmukha Brahma also. Means Brahmaji is very powerful man, but if he's Bahimukha, he's not actually seeing you, then I don't want. So Srila Prabhupada tells one time in one lecture, I was hearing his own Jayapataka Maharaj, so he was sharing that Prabhupada writes that if you go to devotee and you become a dog also or a kit also, you'll get at least Mahaprasad. So he says, better, at least I will get Mahaprasad there. Otherwise, a non-devotee is Brahma house also, there's no Mahaprasad. So I will get Mahaprasad. And then Bhagavati Anante Rati, that is a very important one. And Prabhupada gives a very powerful statement. He says, and the most important function of a devotee is to have complete attachment for Lord Shri Krishna, the father of all living beings. So this is a very important statement. We'll see as we go ahead. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in the purport to this verse, he adds one more. When he in the end says, Namo Dvijebhya. So he's saying he's offering obeisances to the Brahmanas. And it also means that he wants to express that one of my desires is that I keep respect for the Brahmanas, because actually he could not properly respect Shamik Rishi. So here he is saying that may I always respect the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. So that is also his desire. So you see, the association of devotees, prasangascha tad ashrayeshu, is a very important principle, which actually paves the way for all other things. When he's singing, Dhruv Maharaj is saying, Bhakti muhu prabhatam tvaime prasango. So there he says that may I always associate with the devotees of the Lord, pure devotees of yours, in whose association there is a constant flow of nectar of your Krishna Gatha. So there also he's asking for associating devotees when he is seeing the Lord, Supreme Lord is in front of him, but he's asking, give me association of devotees. So actually, if you read the prayers of all the great souls, they will say that please give me association of your devotees. They're praying to the Lord also for association of devotees. So Srila Prabhupada has given us this ISKCON Society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So all the great souls in their perfected darshan of the Supreme Lord, they are asking for what we have already got. We are here in the, we are all trying to relish the Krishna Katha in the association of devotees. And Srila Prabhupada is our founder Acharya. He has given such nectarian purports. So we are associating with Prabhupada. So we have already got, which is actually the greatest aspiration of the perfected living beings, the devotees. So only thing we have to realize our fortune. Like one nice story is told in that regard, that one time one man had never seen gold. So he went to the king and he said that, sir, I want to see your treasury. So he said, okay. So he took him to the treasure wherever it was kept. So he was walking a long way, and then he came and then he opened the big treasury door, and as he saw, he understood, okay, this is gold. And when he saw the gold, then he saw he's standing on gold also. And then he saw the door is also made of gold, and the whole pathway was also gold. So that is the situation of a devotee in the sadhaka stage, that he thinks one day I will achieve back to Godhead. I'll go back to Vaikuntha. I'll get that perfected, pure life. And as he goes there, then he realizes actually what I got, in ISKCON at ICC center. That only is what I'm getting here also. Now I'm only enjoying the fruit in a more relishable way. Prabhupada writes in that Bhakti Muhu Prabhatam Tvaime Prasango, that verse, he says that devotional service does not become distinct from material activities without the association of devotees. And if anyone thinks that he can practice Krishna consciousness without the association of devotees, it's simply hallucination. And later on he shares that bhakti is such a path that we are doing bhakti here and we will go back to Godhead and do bhakti there also. And he's saying actually all other paths, if you see, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, no one sits under a banyan tree and just does bhajan, like absorbed in samadhi or something in the spiritual world. Everyone is enjoying Krishna consciousness. There is no dhyana yoga, jnana yoga and karma yoga in the spiritual world. Only bhakti is there. So what we are doing here is the activity of the spiritual world. There also unlimited Krishna Katha is going on. And there is no impediment of birth, old age, disease, death. We don't have to go for office also. No impediment. Constant nectar. And he shares further that the activity there and activity here is no difference except one simple thing. He said just like a mango, first it is unripe and then it becomes ripe. So the unripe mango is also mango. Mango is mango. But when it becomes ripe, it becomes more relishable. So similarly, when we become pure in our heart, we relish devotional service, which is at this moment may have some austerity to perform. Like once one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada, after we become liberated, still we have to follow the spiritual master? No? After we become liberated, is it like, are we still supposed to follow spiritual? He said, after that you will follow it naturally. Right now you're forced to follow. After that you will love to follow. So it is not like after we go back to Godhead, then Mayavadi conception is what? That once I've climbed the ladder, then I can throw the ladder. But actually, Prabhupada, the Vaishnava life is We know that we are Janme Janme Prabhu say. We are actually eternal servant of the Master. No. So the spiritual master, after we go back to Godhead also, we'll be escorted by the spiritual master to meet Radha Krishna. The spiritual master is our eternal spiritual master. And even there, we like to not directly serve the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master may push us to serve the Supreme Lord, but we love to serve the spiritual master. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says about Narad Muni. When Narsingh Dev is asking, what do you want? He's saying, no, just, I have actually been saved by my spiritual master. I want to just be his servant. So a devotee of the Lord actually has such divine aspirations, which has nothing to do with all the mundane, pathetic aspirations that people are emanating in this world. And when we come to association of devotees, then only we come to really see these nectarian aspirations. Otherwise, before that, like we every day sing Dhanam, Janam, we sing Na Dhanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim. But the whole world is going towards Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. So if they hear this verse, they will be crazy or what? This is life. So the association of devotees leads to three very vital changes. One is change in action, another change in attitude, and the third is change in aspirations. So I'll give one example for each. So action. So one time one devotee came to his guest Radha Gopinath Prabhu, who is very senior brahmachari of Chopati, and he said, he was speaking in Hindi. You understand Hindi? Then I'll speak in Hindi for just 1 minute. So he said, क्या प्रभु जी बांध के रख दिया आपने, अभी कुछ क्या बांध भक्ति नहीं करूंगा, अभी मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ भक्ति. क्या हो गया बताइए? अरे प्रभु जी सड़क से जा रहा था तो थोड़ा एक अच्छा बिलबोर्ड पे पोस्टर दिखा फिल्म का, फिर अरे ये तो हरे कृष्णा मूवी है नहीं. थोड़ा और आगे गया तो अच्छा वड़ा पाव मिल रहा था, अरे ये प्रसाद तो है नहीं. थोड़ा और आगे गया तो ठोकर लग गई गाड़ी की, कुछ निकलना ही वाला था मुंह से कि लगा ये श्लोक तो है नहीं. अरे बांध के रख दिया तुम लोगों ने मेरे को नहीं करनी भक्ति. So Radha Gopinath Prabhu said, please give me the dust of your lotus feet, Prabhu. You have become Krishna conscious. No. He said, ऐसा क्या प्रभु जी? No. How have I become Krishna conscious? Please explain. So let's see. You are seeing everything from Krishna's desire. Krishna will not be happy if I eat this. Krishna will not be happy if I see this. Krishna will not be happy if I speak this. So your actions have completely changed because you don't want to make Krishna displeased with your action. This is Krishna consciousness. You may have struggled, but you have actually a desire to please Krishna. That's why you are restricting yourself. So you're Krishna conscious. Prabhu, give me the dust of your feet, Prabhu. Oh, Prabhu, thank you, Prabhuji. Now I am very happy. No? So as a sadhaka, it is natural that we will have a contaminated mind and senses which actually get pulled towards the lower things. But the devotee has a resolve. I don't want to displease my master. I don't want to displease Krishna. And thus he never acts on that. He says, get lost, you mind. I don't want to act on your dictate. And that is the very first change. Actually, even new people actually, like, when I came to Krishna consciousness at one time, just in my first year of college only, my superior told that we should not drink tea. Chai intoxication, it's intoxication. So next day I stopped tea. And before that I was drinking 5 times tea. So when I went home, they said, "Aapne chai bhi chhod diya? You left tea also." So it was not like some tapasya to leave tea actually. But people outside, they can't leave tea. It's very big renunciation according to them. Chai bhi chhod diya. Kitne bade vairagi ho gaya. Actually, British introduced tea. Before that, no one was drinking tea in India. So actually, the kind of practice that comes just naturally in the association devotees. We were never given some seminars on don't eat non-veg. As a byproduct of practicing Krishna, we automatically develop compassion for the other living entity. We can't eat meat. So automatically, many things happen as a byproduct. So our actions change. A deeper change which happens in our life is attitude change. Many of our attitude change. Like here we are seeing Parikshit Maharaj. He is getting cursed and he's taking it as a blessing. No? To take a curse when one is about to die, to take it as a blessing and to pay respects to the same people who have cursed him. No? And feel very great. And he was, in fact, before even knowing that he has been cursed, he was himself praying that let all my kingdom and everything get burnt, because I have done such an inauspicious act of disrespecting a Brahmana. I should atone for it, so that I never do this inauspicious act ever. This kind of a great attitude where one wants punishment for his mistake and does not see any adversity as a adversity, rather he sees it as an opportunity to come closer to Krishna. He says that Krishna has actually freed me from the material entanglement of being in the kingship, because I was so attached to it. He had to do something very drastic to pull me out of that. This is a very great change in attitude. So of course this is we see devotees in this way. Those who are acting in this capacity, will see some examples. But in the beginning also we will see devotees see many changes in attitude. One sample example I will share. So one time there was a yatra, in Kartik from Chopati they go for yatras. So there are many buses, and when they went in, they were going in buses, hundreds of buses. So there was one devotee who had just come new, first time yatra. So when he was in the bus, so the bus in charge had told that you should come back by 12 o'clock because you have to leave immediately, and all the buses behind will be waiting. So come in time. So all the people had boarded, and one old devotee, means old age devotee, he was actually very far, and he said, "Hey, Roko, wait, I'm coming." So this bus in charge is thinking, "Arey, boss will chastise me, so I have to move also." So he started little bit moving the bus, and this old man is running, and he somehow jumped into the bus, and he said, "You fool! You didn't see me. I was running, and I'm an old man. You don't feel any compassion for old people. You are a young man. You are just just not concerned about others." So the young man said that, young devotee, he said, "Prabhuji, what can I do? No, I am bus in charge. The superiors have told to leave in time. And you could have started earlier. No, you are an old man. Why should everyone else wait for you? You could have started earlier. What? See, you are, offending Vaishnavas like this, dhar. So both the parties offending. He said, old man said, you are offending a senior devotee. And both were like fighting. And this new boy who had just first time come to Yatra, he was seeing two devotees fighting, one bus in charge, one old Vaishnava, both are fighting. He said, यही होता है, बाहर भी यही होता है, अंदर भी यही होता है ना, कोई फायदा नहीं है devotee संघ का ना. Last yatra, first yatra and last yatra, and then came lunch hour. So he saw both these devotees are going again in some corner, some hiding. He said, "Arey, fighting continued." He was very upset. He went to see what is going on, and both of the parties were trying to pull each other's leg or something. Then he went a little closer. He saw they're basically both trying, "Prabhuji, give me the dust of your feet, please forgive me, Prabhuji. Actually, it is my fault. I should have started early. Actually, Prabhuji, you were telling right only." No, Prabhuji. Actually, I was more rule based. Actually, I should have waited. You are an old Vaishnava. I should see you with respect. I should understand. No, Prabhuji, you understand. No, please forgive me. No, please forgive me. Both were. So he new boy, he said, बाहर की दुनिया में पहला सीन देखा है, दूसरा सीन नहीं देखा है ना. No? So they sincerely look, we may go agitated at times, but then we beg forgiveness. So attitude is not to be proven right or something. Attitude is to get shelter, to be pleasing to the Vaishnavas. गलती हो गया तो माफी मांग लिया. So attitudes change. And then aspirations. So that is what we'll discuss today most. Aspirations change. So I was telling about Na Dhanam Na Janam Na Sundarim. So His Holiness Shri Krishna Chaitanya Swami Maharaj, he tells how he came to Krishna consciousness. So in that he says that he was actually a very big musician. If you have heard his, now he does not play the trumpet and all, but he's a powerful musician. So he was a very rich man and very young, beautiful, and big music. And music attracts all the people, including girls. And so he was like a big, star. And then one day he was standing at the airport, sitting at the airport, and then one devotee comes and shows books. So he likes singing. So he saw songs of Vaishnavacharya. So he liked that book. So he took that book. And then in that he saw na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. He said, this is all what I am looking for. And this person is rejecting all of this. That means he has something better. So he joined the movement actually. No. That one line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made him join the movement. So actually our aspirations change. And from Dhanam Janam Sundarim, we take a about turn and we become like, no, every day we are singing Na Dhanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim, Kavitam, Jagdish Kame, Mama Janmani Janmanishwari. Like here, Parikshit is also saying, may even if I take another birth, no problem. No, he's not after getting some freedom from anxieties and deliverance from this material world actually. He's looking for devotion service. So this is the great aspirations of a devotee. And in fact, he does not want to go back to Godhead also. If that does not give him service, he says that what is that? Salokya Savarishti Samipya. No, how does it start? Salokya Sarishti Samipya. Sarupya Ikatum Apyuta Diyamanam na Grinanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. If I don't get seva, even if you offer me all these liberations, 5 types of liberation, I will say bye-bye. So that is the aspiration of devotee. Daruk, my God, when Daruk is fanning the Lord, he is getting ecstasy out of service to the Lord. And his tears are coming out of the eyes and he's in ecstasy. And because of tears, he's not able to see the Lord and properly fan. So he's cursing these tears and cursing the ecstasy. He says, get lost ecstasy. I don't want ecstasy at the cost of service. Service is more important than the ecstasy out of service. So actually a devotee does not serve to get ecstasy. Ecstasy is a byproduct of service. He just wants to serve. His only desire is to satisfy the Lord. Ahetuki pratihata atma suprasiddhi. But the goal of that atma is not to do satisfaction of his own self. Goal is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. And if Lord is satisfied, he becomes satisfied as a byproduct. So that is the pure devotion service path is so pure, it does not leave any tinge of selfishness in the jiva actually. No tinge of selfishness. Nothing for oneself he aspires. So one time Srila Prabhupada was at a temple and he was about to leave the temple after seeing the temple and giving lecture and everything. So when he was in the car, he had boarded the car. So one devotee came, Prabhupada, and all the devotees were like frozen. What has happened? And he was charging towards the car and Prabhupada, what is that one thing that will make me go back home, back to God? Tell me that one thing that is required to go back to God. And Prabhupada said, desire. And then the car moved ahead. So in one word, Srila Prabhupada encapsulated a very, very powerful, profound teaching. Desire. Desire is the only thing. We have a beautiful verse in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate tatra lalyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukrite na labhyate. He says Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. He's not saying Krishna mati. He's not like sometimes people say that we should somehow remember Krishna. But actually Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. When our mati, our intelligence, our mind, our conscience becomes imbued with the bhakti rasa. And in that mood we are remembering Krishna. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. Kriyatam yati kuto bhi labhyate. So Rupa Goswami is sharing, kahin bhi mil jaye le lo. If you get this anywhere, please take it. Kriyatam yati kutopi labhyate. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. And what is the price you will have to pay to get this mati? Lolyam. An intense greed to have it. Janma koti sukritai na labhyate. Koti janam ki sukriti se bhi ye prat nahi kiya jata. No matter what we have done in the past life, we cannot get it. When Rupa Goswami is describing about Sudurlabha as one of the characteristics of pure devotion service, he says, if you have no material desire, you cannot get pure devotion service. If you have only desire to render pure devotion service, you cannot get pure devotion service. It is the sheer monopoly of the pure devotees to give pure devotion service. Even Krishna cannot give it. It is only by the mercy of the devotees, when they give us the mercy that you take pure devotional service. That time we start understanding these sweet realms of devotional service. We cannot enter this realm. Otherwise, for outside people, we look like crazy people. क्या हो गया इसको? Abnormal हो गया. You are so normal. What happened to you? How did you end up like this? No? You were so normal. You were like us. No? But we understand now we have become normal. No? Earlier we were abnormal. We were diseased. So actually this consciousness is not easy to access. I thought DY sessions made me devotee. No? So when I went home after first year, I went to my home and I told my mother in the morning only. I got trained, landing in the morning in Delhi. I went to the home and I told mother, I got a very beautiful thing. Kya mila? Bhakti mil gaya. And I said, I showered 1 hour. All the DY 6 sessions I showered in 1 hour only, capsule course. And she was like already half asleep only. And she was hearing, oh, kya bol raha hai? Kya ho gaya? Isko pagal ho gaya hai, So she was crying. And then over a period of time when it was summer vacation, so 2 months I understood. ऐसा नहीं कि डिवाइस पिलाने से किसी को भक्ति मिल जाता है, The person who was giving me device, he is a devotee. And because he was praying for me, so I got devotional service. I don't know what is devotional service otherwise. This realm is not accessible by any other means. Devotees actually give us. So the desire, the bhakti, rasa bhavita mati, is a very, very rare thing. And where is it available? In the association of pure devotees. In the association of pure devotees, because their aspirations brush against our heart and we start feeling the paleness of our existence. Actually, we start understanding we are looking for gutter water in front of what they are actually. So the association of devotees makes us doubt our material existence. They are happy without all dhanam janam sundari, and I am unhappy with all these fellows, all these things also. So kuch to garbad ho gaya, equation is wrong somewhere, So we start doubting our material existence, that it is not the right way. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Krishna consciousness is so wonderful. It relieves us from the misconception of trying to enjoy this material world. It's a misconception. The jiva is thinking, "Bas और भोग कर लूं, देखो पैसा मिल जाए, लड़की मिल जाए, ये मिल जाए, वो मिल जाए तो खुश हो जाएगा." All of them are unhappy only. But somehow illusion does not make them see that clearly. But only after we become devotee, we can see it very clearly. So this is mercy actually. So I was hearing one lecture at Juhu of His Holiness Javataka Maharaj, and he was telling about Ugadi Laddu. Ugadi is coming soon. Who? April, huh? April. So Ugadi, he was telling about. Actually, he told in South they celebrate Ugadi, and they have one laddu. You can tell me better, but there is a laddu that you eat in Ugadi. He was telling about one laddu that they make, which actually when you buy it, so first you find it sweet, then you find it bitter, then again sweet, then bitter. So as they buy it, they don't know what to feel about it, so he was telling about this Ugadi laddu. I had never eaten this Ugadi laddu, maybe, So he was sharing that this they eat in the beginning of the year to say that to experience that actually life is full of joys and sorrows. It is always going to be like that. It's not like going to be all sweet. It's not going to be all bitter. It's all going to be joys and sorrows. But a devotee looks for something beyond it. That is what is life for. So, when a devotee goes through situations which are very happy, he does not become, intoxicated with it. When a devotee sees some very painful situation, he does not become completely absorbed in that. He sees through it all that if some happy things are coming, that means my pious activity, karma is getting relieved. Hari bol. Thoda karma khatam hua. If some bad karma is, if some means painful times are coming, bad karma is getting over. Chalo, let me get relief from this whole existence. He does not fight with it. Rather, through good times and bad times, he sees how I should act to come closer to Krishna. That is his only meditation. What should I do to become closer to Krishna? That is a devotee. And that's what Parikshit is doing here. He is not caught up in, kaun tha wo brahmana, shingi, no. ना, उसको पकड़ के मारेंगे, ना. And he had the power to counter curse. He's a Vaishnava. He's a pure devotee. Arey, Bhagwan, Lord Krishna personally protected him in the womb. First, before coming to outside world, he was given darshan by the Lord. Such a powerful devotee. He could have told, na, "Arey, तुम्हें पता है हम कौन हैं?" No, I am the, that emperor who got darshan in the womb only. You are going to curse me. No tit for tat stuff at all. Rather, he is seeing it as a great benediction. And he is seeing his own folly in disrespecting the Vaishnavas. So he is very, very sincere in his devotion service. And what he prays for are the universal prayers of every devotee who has attained pure devotion. If we see these prayers, the three things that he asks for: complete attachment to the Lord, and association of devotees, and friendly disposition to all living entities. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching. Namaruchi, Vaishnav Seva, Jivdya. These are the three foundation principles. And if you see in other places, like if you see 11th canto, it comes Ishware Tadadineshu, Baleshu, Dushatsucha, Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha, Yat Karoti Sa Madhyama. So he's saying 4 types of disposition. Ishware Tadadineshu, Ishware means the Lord. Tad adhineshu, just like here he's saying tad ashrayeshu. So tad adhineshu, one who has become adhin to the Lord, subservient to the Lord. Baleshishu, innocent people. And dushatsu, envious people. So prema, maitri, kripa, upeksha. Prema for the Lord, maitri with the devotees, kripa for the innocent, and upeksha for the envious. In upeksha to the envious, it does not mean that he envies the envious. He rather feels concern for the envious, and a Madhyam Adhikari does not have the capability to transform the envious into a devotee. Uttam Adhikari has. Uttam Adhikari can make an envious person also come to devotional service. But a Madhyama keeps distance, because if he tries to interact with the envious, he will emanate more offensive words for the Lord and the devotees. So he keeps distance to keep him at least not become more offensive. But he prays for him. He never feels ill of him. He always prays for him. So prema, maitri, kripa, upeksha, same principle which is being discussed. Namaruchi, Vaishnava Seva, Jivdaya. So if someone is actually aspiring for pure devotion, this is the state of consciousness he should look forward to. Some people, if they are only thinking that I have to develop prema for the Lord, but they become bereft of association of devotees, that's not going to work. If they think that, association, all these are neophytes, I only want to chant more rounds, go in some Radha Kund and be a Bhajana Nandi. Bhajana Nandis are also actually loving to associate with devotees. Madhavendra Puri was a very advanced personality. And Madhavendra Puri is the root of devotional service which Lord Chaitanya is trying to give. But then he had great joy in hearing Krishna Katha, but he didn't want to associate with non-devotees. He was udasi in that way. So it's not like Bhajananandis. If you see Bhajananandis, like Gaur Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj instructed Bhakti Janandi Thakur to preach. It's not like they are thinking that all these fellows are fallen souls, gone case, go to hell. Let us do bhajan and go back to Godhead. No. Actually, if there is love for the Lord, and the Lord has compassion for all living entities, if we are really connecting to Lord's heart, how can we not feel compassion for others? No? So if the heart of a devotee is to make Lord happy, and the Lord is feeling for all living entities, then a person who really loves the Lord cannot stop himself from feeling concern for all other living entities. So one without the other will never happen. If something one without the other is happening, say someone thinks that let us just have friendly relationship with devotees and not do bhajan properly, that is not going to happen. Like one devotee asked his guest Radha Shampoo one time, Ruji, what is more important, Vaishnava relationship or morning program? He said, why you are asking such a question? Both are important. Then he said, Prabhuji, some devotees are doing so late night discussions with each other, spending time with each other, that they don't come for morning program. He said, you can do discussion in the daytime also. Na? Why you have to do in the night only? Then your chanting will remain in the day. Instead of chanting in the day, you do chatting in the day with devotees, and chanting you can do in the morning. So why you have to do Vaishnava relation in the late night only? Some special rasa is coming. No, no. So actually, the devotee should not take one without the other. That let me just associate with each other without having the clarity that we are trying to go closer to Krishna. Mat chitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. First, they are fixed on the chitta is attached to the Lord. That is why they are associating and doing what? Kathentascha mam nityam. No prajalpa with each other, but rather kathentascha. No? Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Parasparanu kathanam. Pavanam Bhagavate cha. So they do paraspara anukathanam. Not that they are just doing some, or tumhe aaj kya Govindas mein khaya hai, no? That is not their discussion actually. Of course, you can eat in Govindas. I'm not saying that, but the discussion is actually nectar of Krishna consciousness. So a devotee of the Lord is having friendship also with devotees. He has great attachment to the Lord, and he has great compassion for the living entities in general. All three have to come together. If one without the other is manifesting, there is some problem in the package which one has understood of what the great souls are giving. No? There is another verse in the 11th canto where it says, Dayam Maitrim Prashnayam. So Dayam means to all the other living entities, Maitrim with the Vaishnavas, and Prashnayam is the upper connectivity with the great souls and with the Supreme Lord. That is Prashnayam. So all three have to go together. One without the other will not exist. So I'll discuss on each one of them a little. So we see Namaruchi, or here as he says that Bhagavati Anante Rati. No? So that I heard 2 lectures to try to prepare for this lecture. So one lecture was of His Grace Bhurijan Prabhu, and one lecture was of His Holiness Jayabhata Kamal. So when His Grace Bhurijan Prabhu started speaking, he said, I will like to elaborate on these 3, and I will like to tell how they are universal, like I am now telling, no? But he just told that, and then he said, first I would like to tell you one pastime from the 10th canto. And he started telling Akrura going towards Vrindavan, and then what happened in Vrindavan, and all the Vrajvasis are feeling so much separation. And whole lecture he lost himself in Vrindavan only, Lecture got over, Vrindavan only going on, Krishna came to Mathura, only that much happened. And then I heard one lecture of His Holiness Jayabhata Maharaj. I understood it. Bhurijan Prabhu is speaking through his consciousness that become attached to the Supreme Lord. He is not able to tell it, but he is telling it by his consciousness only. He has become attached so much that he lost his heart in Vrindavan. And then I heard His Holiness Jayabhata Maharaj. And Maharaj is going Gaur Leela, Haridas Thakur ye and he went into Haridas Thakur only, and I understood he has lost in Gaur Leela, he is lost in Krishna Leela. They are both telling that become intoxicated on this wonderful program. I understood. I know notes to make. Just hear the wonderful Leela, be happy about it. So these are great souls. They are sharing their ecstasy of being attached to the Lord. Actually, what we look forward to really get from the great souls is not how nicely they do management of ISKCON, or how they smile at us, or of course many times because their heart is full of love, they may do all this also, but actually their love for Krishna is what attracts us. They're so attached to do something for Krishna. They're so deeply in love for Krishna, and that makes us feel ki I should also have this, what they have got. How they're attached to Srila Prabhupada, how they're attached to Krishna. That makes us feel that I should also have this attachment. And that is the greatest service the great souls are doing to us, because they're changing our aspiration. They're changing our aspiration to go to the pure love. When one book distributor, Srila Prabhupada used to say, if you want to please me, distribute my books. And no questions about it. Srila Prabhupada actually was very pleased when we distribute books. Now marathon is coming. We should distribute books. That's wonderful. But one book distributor had a kind of a slant towards it. He wanted to prove that book distribution is the best service. So he went to Prabhupada, and among the Vaishnava assembly, he asked, Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? So he wanted that Prabhupada will come out with the same point, And Prabhupada said, if you love Krishna, that pleases me the most. This is the essence. All our services, whether it be book distribution, preaching, fund collection, anything. It's our expression to the Supreme Lord, to the spiritual master, that somehow I also want to serve Krishna. I want to love Krishna. I want to express my desire to some way become uh, under the mercy of Krishna. So this simple disposition of humble service attitude attracts grace. And then we enter that loving realm. So the pure devotees are not attracted by external book distribution scores, are not attracted by anything of this world actually. Although they may pat us on the back for each of those, because they are actually expressions of pure love. But the core thing that they are attracted to is our service attitude, our desire to love Krishna by doing all these efforts. Because if we have love, we will have dedication. We will have some expression. You know, if a mother is saying that I love you, child, then she should clean the stool and urine also when the child is passing stool and urine. She will cook for the child despite summer. So there is dedication which comes out of the feeling of love. But the core is love. And that makes the jiva feel like doing something more and more. Not that how much am I supposed to do. I want to do as much as I can. That is love. So this is actually a very salient feature of devotional service, that we always want to do more and more. The other point which Srila Prabhupada is referring about Ajata Shatru, and also he's referring basically we should be friendly with all living entities. So there Srila Prabhupada elaborates on this Ajata Shatru in another verse, very important verse, which comes in Kapila section. Titiksha Karunika Surda Sarva Dehinam Ajata Shatrava Shanta Sadhava Sadhu Bhushana. So there the Ajata Shatru comes. So again, Prabhupada writes actually that it is not that people are not inimical to the devotee, but Ajata Shatru means his Shatru is never born, means in his heart he never considers anyone as Shatru. So Prabhupada writes, while engaged in preaching work, he has to meet with so many opposing elements, and therefore the sadhu or devotee of the Lord has to be very tolerant. Titikshuka is also required. Someone may ill-treat him because the conditioned soul are not prepared to receive the transcendent knowledge of devotional service. They do not like it. That is their disease. The sadhu has the thankless task of impressing upon them the importance of devotional service. Sometimes devotees are personally attacked with violence. Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Haridas Thakur was caned in 22 marketplaces. And Lord Chaitanya's principal assistant Nityananda was violently attacked by Jagai and Madai. But still they were tolerant because their mission was to deliver the fallen souls. So they feel compassion on those souls who apparently attacked them also. Jesus was praying for those who were crucifying him. Haridas Thakur said, okay, what should I do for you? Actually, this is what Jayapataka Maharaj was elaborating on, that he is being 22 marketplaces, and then Maharaj was sharing that what would remain after 22 marketplaces? Only shreds of your body will remain, nothing will remain. But he was same alive person, very brilliantly shining. Then these prosecutors were very concerned. They will be killed by the king. So they said, oh, you are not dying. So, okay, what do you want? You want me to die? Yes, please die. Okay, I will die, And then he went into internal samadhi, and then after that, they thought he's dead. Now let us go to the king with the body. And when the king saw he's dead, then he said, okay. So people were suggesting, okay, you should give him cover. No, he is not a proper Muslim. He should not. Okay, burn the body. No. Let us throw his body in the river. So Krishna only supplied intelligence because, and then he can come back also. So later on, Haridas Thakur comes back and preaches again the Krishna consciousness in the program. So this is Lord as devotees, Haridas Thakur. And he transformed prostitute who had come to spoil his character only, And Jagai Madai hit, but Lord Nityananda was actually pleading for him also. So like this, because a sadhu lives in this way, Prabhupada writes, he does not create enemies. If there are enemies, they become enemies out of their own character, not out of the provocation on the part of the sadhu. A sadhu simply teaches, my dear human being, my dear friend, just surrender to Krishna. Enemies arise due to a man's envious nature. Chanakya Pandit says that there are two envious animals, serpents and men. Although you may be faultless, either may kill you. Of the two, Chanakya Pandit says that the envious man is more dangerous than a serpent. A serpent can be subdued by chanting a mantra or by a herb, but an envious man cannot be subdued. In Kali Yuga, practically everyone is envious, but we have to tolerate this. Envious people will create many impediments to the Krishna movement, but we have to tolerate them. There is no alternative. One must be peaceful and depend on Krishna on all circumstances. These are the ornaments of a sadhu. So this is what actually we see what Srila Prabhupada is telling. And Prabhupada tolerated and preached Krishna consciousness to those who were actually causing trouble to him. So Srila Prabhupada not only was tolerating, but you can see in his life, like there is a book by Mool Prakriti Devi Mataji, I believe the name is. Prabhupada's disciple. She has noted how he dealt with many people before he started the movement. And there she has documented how everyone would see him as a very perfect gentleman. Very, very beautifully, many pastimes are there. So, friend to all, the title friend to all. Our Srila Prabhupada, friend to all. So she was documented how Prabhupada was a friend to all living entities, all people at large. And when he came to America and then to India and all the parts of the world, there is no dearth of pastimes to share about how much compassion he had. He was the whole day preaching, managing everything, and the night he was translating the books. So Prabhupada had complete, absorption in trying to reach out to the world, complete attachment to the Lord. And in all of that also, he had deep feelings of friendship with all the devotees also. Means all the God brothers. Like once his divine grace, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, when he disappeared from the planet. So he is a sannyas guru. He is disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, and he had given him sannyas. So when he disappeared, he was in America somewhere, Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada collected all the devotees. That time there are some 300 devotees, and he's actually writing a letter of condolence and also offering a shloka in prayer where he says, I was in ignorance and you have opened my eyes to give me sannyas actually. I was lying in entanglement of family life and you actually picked me up. And I have not lost anything. Actually, I gave a few children and I got 300 children now. So like that, Srila Prabhupada is glorifying this God brother of his. And he said, all of you should sign this letter and I will send it to Mayapur. So he had very deep respect for his God brothers. In fact, he never thought that he will have to open a ISKCON world. He always was trying to first assist his God brothers in making Gaudiya Math the success, as combined forces should preach the message of Krishna consciousness. That was the order of his master. But when that fell apart, then he had to take up this thing on his own. And still he had deep respect for all the God brothers who were preaching. And when he comes back to India also, actually he meets many of the God brothers and with very, very loving heart, he in fact invites them, please join the ISKCON. Let us preach together. But they didn't want to join. So Prabhupada had always a very friendly feeling, and Prabhupada wanted that way we also should stay always together. So this is actually Prabhupada. And in the going further, I'll just share one pastime of Hladini Devi Mataji. She is a very great Vaishnavi in our Prabhupada disciple line. So Srila Prabhupada, Hladini Mataji, she was in New Vrindavan. And she was devoted to service to Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadra's deities. So every day she would sleep on the slippers of Balramji, not in the altar. She had sometimes the old jewelries are taken, so like that. So she had the chappals of Balramji. So one day she started, as she was reading Prabhupada's books, she came to Chaitanya Charitamrita. And she was so attached to Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, she would get dreams of them also. But that time when she started reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, she understood that Lord Jagannath and Baldev has come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, and they want her to preach. They want her to do Sankirtan. So she started getting dreams of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu that we have come to preach and you are doing such deity worship only. So then she thought, I have to go for Sankirtan. So she went for Sankirtan. And when she would go for Sankirtan, she was going to other places. So she was not able to do service to the deities. So Jagannath Baldev Subhadra would come in her dream and say, you have left us, So she would share this dilemma with, His Holiness His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, that, I'm getting these dreams, One place, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra is asking, one place, God Nitai are asking. So Radhanath Maharaj was saying that this is a very nice dilemma to have. Sometimes we have a pulling between Krishna and Maya, but here, she is being pulled two sides, one saying deity worship, one saying Sankirtan. Finally, she went to Africa to assist His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. And when she was preaching there, she was carrying God Nitai deities in the Sankirtan and all. So one time they were arrested. So they were arrested and put in jail. And then court was called, and court was asking, why are you? I'm not sure whether this pastime happened in Africa or in America, but she was having this pastime happens, and then another pastime surely happens in Africa where she leaves the body. That I will tell just as the ending. So this pastime is happening. So she is actually called by the court. All the devotees are there, and one sannyasi was also there in the Sankirtan. So this court says, why are you doing all this noise and all that? So she says, no, we will do it actually. Sannyasi says, see, we will not make so much noise. We'll do peaceful kirtan. No, we will do it. Radhini Mataji, we will do it. We are not at fault. These two fellows are at fault. Who are the Gaurnita deities are there. These two fellows are ordering us to go and preach the message. What can we do? We have to preach, And the judge is thinking, who are you talking about? No, these two fellows, no. And then these dolls, you're talking, dolls, they're not dolls, they're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're ordering us to go out and preach. And without fear, we should go out and preach the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So she was in ecstasy. This sannyasi was trying to calm down. No, Judge Sahab, we will try to, we'll not do so. He said, no, we'll go. No. So the judge understood. She has sincere faith, actually, that the Lord is ordering. And then, actually, they both were relieved. Lord and the devotees both were relieved from the jail. Lord was also brought to jail only. The deities came to jail, and then... So this is our feeling of compassion for other living entities. Attached to Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, concerned for other living entities on the order of the Lord. And the last one is on Vaishnavas. When she was preaching like this, actually she was preaching very nicely in Africa. And at that time, one time, and there was these, actually many Gunda type people were there who had taken over the power and they were killing. So they wanted to kill all the men of Hare Krishnas. So they were saying, women and children, move aside, we'll kill all the men. So they started shooting. And Hladini Mataji said, you cannot kill, you cannot do this to devotees. They are devotees of the Lord. You cannot do this. They said, move aside, your lady, otherwise you will be shot dead. She said, I will die, but I will not see a Vaishnava die before. So she stood before all the men. You have to shoot me down if you have to see any men to be killed, actually. And they shot her down, actually. So she left her body. And before this leaving the body, actually, she writes one letter to His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. She says, the only fear, I have no fear in this world. The only fear I have, I should never offend a Vaishnava. That is the only fear I have. So this is the consciousness of a pure devotee. He is attached to the Lord. He always feels subservient to the Vaishnavas and wants to please them and never offend them. And he feels great joy to share Krishna consciousness with others. So this is a beautiful thing that Srila Parikshit Maharaj here is bringing out through his aspirations. And the great devotees like Srila Prabhupada and many Bhagavatam characters have shown. And even the next generations who are doing the same thing in their life, they bring out through their action. And this is the great legacy that we have got of divine aspirations, which change all our life, and all the outside world becomes pale before all these divine things that we get to hear. They're actually living in the spiritual world, even while they're on this planet. So with this, I close. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Yes. Here, Prabhu. Prabhu here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for giving a wonderful class.
I had one question. You were talking about mercy and grace. So Prabhupada used to use the word mercy more, and Radhana Swami and other devotees, some devotees are using word grace. I'm trying to understand the difference. Is it same? Is it different? Or how to understand this? Can you please?
I don't know any difference. If anyone knows the difference between these two words, I don't know, Prabhu. I think it's same only. No? We say His divine grace. No, I think Prabhupada also allowed us to use grace word for him also. Use the word mercy, yeah. And grace is also there from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time also. His divine grace, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I think both words are there. I'm sorry if I'm ignorant about any difference. Any questions? Mataji there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for a very enlivening class. Prabhuji, you started initially about not being born as Bahirmukhi Brahma, and it's better to be born as a worm in the house of a devotee. But we read very nice prayers about Lord Brahma also, and even he's one of the 12 Mahajans. So, why is that statement?
Brahmaji is, our Brahmaji is a pure devotee. There can be many Brahmajis who may not be. So what here he is referring to, I don't want a Brahma life also if it is not a devotee life actually. So Brahma means he's referring to the post. He's referring to being the supreme controller in this secondary creator to this world. All that I don't want. He's of course not having any problem about the Brahmaji of our Brahmanda. He's a pure devotee, he's our Sampradaya Acharya. Naresh Puji, you want to comment something, some correction? Puji? Okay. Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, oftentimes, instead of seeing the devotee in the Vaishnav, we see the anarthas, despite being full of anarthas ourselves. So practically, how can we actually convince our mind when it's getting difficult to see the Vaishnav?
Practically, we should go to some other Vaishnav and ask him, please tell me some glories of this Vaishnava. That is practical. Sometimes our mind is covered over. We cannot see. But all the Vaishnavas are not covered over. So you must see, you will see some other devotee has very good appreciation for that devotee. So we can ask him, what things you see in him so that I can also relish more his association. So that is very simple thing we can do. Actually, when we say, I want to see a good devotee, but devotee himself is good only. Devotee is good. He's devotee. Vaishnava means he's devoted to Vishnu. So when we see the primary quality of his taking shelter of Krishna Sharanam is the primary quality which will lead to all other qualities. Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana verse. Actually, it's talking about Akinchana Bhakti. So all the qualities of the demigods descend in the Vaishnava. So one should know that outside people may be showing some qualities, apparently very good gentleman thing, but they are manorathena siddhavatubai. So, but a devotee of the Lord is in the right program where the root quality of being a Krishna's servant he has accepted. And all other things will become refined as he practices Krishna consciousness. And we have seen it in so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada who were apparently in so much difficult way of leading life, but then they all could get solved actually. So we should have faith in the process of devotional service. Like about crazy Peter becoming Kushakrita Prabhu. So we hear about these things. We should know that some crazy Peter may exist in our assembly also, and he will also become a wonderful Vaishnava if he's in the process. So in our situation, if we see some other devotee with some difficulty, we may have to deal with it on a practical front, but we should know if as long as he's in the process, so there is great hope. And honestly telling you, I have sometimes been intolerant in my dealings with some devotees, thinking that this person, though he is offending Vaishnavas, also doing so many problems. And then we see actually over these years, now he is a very wonderful Vaishnava. He's actually solved from that problem. Just because he stuck to the devotee Sangha and practiced devotional service. So over these years, I have lost faith in my perception about these faults actually. And I have gained faith that the process works very magically. You drop a Vaishnava, no, you drop a rascal in and comes out a Vaishnava, Very powerful process it is. God knows what magic it is. It's basically Krishna. Krishna is all pure. He can just make everyone very, very beautiful. So that's we know that, then we don't get caught up in the dualities of immediate problems of that devotee so much. And we still understand that I have to deal with it on a practical front, that problem. And we can see the main quality of being a devotee is existing. He's chanting Hare Krishna. What was Crazy Peter doing? He was just putting the gramophone pin of Srila Prabhupada's meter, Hare Krishna meter. So he's hearing Hare Krishna, so he's getting solved actually. His case is getting solved. So this faith in the transcendental process, how it acts on the jiva beyond all the intellectual and our own, like Indians sometimes have Vedic sanskaras. Because of that, they feel little intolerant to people who are not having such Vedic sanskara. But actually, they remain contaminated many times with material desires. But a devotee of the Lord, he may be born in all, non-Vedic understanding, but he has got the core desire to please Krishna. So everything will be washed away. While this fellow will remain cycling in the birth of death, in the cycle of birth and death. And he is going to please Krishna. So that is more important. One time I was in Dindi. In Dindi, we go to, village to village. And at one point we had stopped, and then we go into the barren lands to clear our stomach. So when I was going from one farm, one man was coming out. अरे क्या आप हरे कृष्णा वाले सारा गंदा कर दिया यहाँ पे खेत में ही कर दिया है तुम लोगों ने कुछ आता नहीं है तुम लोगों को गंदे हो बिल्कुल संस्कार नहीं है कुछ भी ऐसा बोल रहे थे and I was also feeling bad that we have made it so unclean खेत में मतलब जहाँ पे पौधे उग रहे हैं जहाँ पे crops हैं वहाँ पे कर दिया था actually we have to go to the barren land which is actually not that time being used for खेती. So anyway, so when I was moving through the khet to the barren land, I was thinking that actually, yeah, we are very unclean. We are devotees, but uncleanliness. And I was also hearing a lecture of Prabhupada while moving towards clearing my stomach. So Prabhupada said, some people blame us that we are unclean, and he said, but a devotee has made one resolve that he wants to serve Krishna. And that will remove all his bad qualities from us. So then I was thinking, actually, Prabhupada is directly answering that man only, And then I was thinking that actually what Prabhupada is saying is a very deep thing. See, this jiva is saying that you are very unclean, you are passing stool in this case, but he will remain with material desire and he will pass stool over this whole planet for millions of lifetimes. Everywhere he'll litter with stool. But a devotee has decided to serve Krishna. So this is his last lifetime. And because he has planned to serve Krishna, Krishna is going to purify all layers of his consciousness. Subtle body will also be purified. So he has made the most important cleanliness program, which is cleaning the consciousness. Cheto Darpana Marjana. He's cleaning. I am not the enjoyer. I am a servant of Krishna. That foundational cleanliness is most important because he has decided that everything else Krishna will take care. But this fellow is busy trying to enjoy this world and troubling Lord also. And Lord is thinking, Kitna, how many material desires he will. So Lord is troubled because of his contamination of material desire. And that is more difficult to clean. So we should have that clear faith that the devotee who has resolved to serve Krishna, he will be purified actually.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Time is.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class and so many insights. You mentioned about three things, the actions, attitude, and aspirations. Prabhuji, what should come first?
Action comes first. Actually, bhakti, when we say sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya. The bhajan kriya is first thing actually. So bhajan kriya means actions of devotion service. actions. Prabhupada writes in one letter to devotees that if you simply mechanically also do the regulative items of devotional service, that means 64 items. If you mechanically do and also attend class to get the understanding about them, one day spontaneous love will descend in your heart. So Prabhupada is very clearly, actually, we should not underestimate the power of Vaidhi-Sadhana Bhakti. If we do Vidhi, or the devotional items which are given by Rupa Goswami, the Rupa Manjari, he has come to tell us, you do these actions regularly in the associate devotees, and you hear class, gradually you will get spontaneous love. Bhav will arise in your heart. So aspirations and all will naturally descend if we chant Hare Krishna. Actually, many people we don't tell about four regulative principles also in the beginning. You just chant Hare Krishna and they come and tell, sir, I'm not feeling like eating meat now. Okay, give up meat now. So most important is the activity of the devotional service. Just do them and automatically many wonderful things happen. And for that also the most important thing is association devotees. Never leave this association. Bas. Ye sab chodat kahin nahi jaun. I will never leave this sangha. You know? This is the perfection. ध्रुव महाराज, प्रहलाद महाराज, परीक्षित महाराज सब बोल रहे इधर ही रहने का है, डिवोटी संघा में रहने का है, जब भगवान के दर्शन हुए उसके बाद. So what we are getting is already that perfect. So remain in association and do the actions of devotion. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki jai. So definitely, after hearing this wonderful class, we all would have developed some amount of rati to the wonderful nectar that was flowing today. So let us all express our gratitude from the bottom of our heart by loudly chanting once Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Quick announcements. So we are launching the ISKCON Disciples course, IDC course, and there are 2 batches, and this will be in English. We will send all the information over WhatsApp also. The first batch is starting from October 8th and October 9th. That is 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the second batch will be October 10th to October 21st, 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. This will be a 10-day course. And there are some small registration fees also. So those who are interested, those who have not yet taken up the IDC course, please ensure you join these courses. There will be information provided, details provided. Yatra announcement, October 15th and 16th, the yatras are to Udupi and Murdeshwar. And the next yatra will be in November, that is to Mayapur and Jagannath Puri. So those who are interested, please contact Rati Madhur Mataji or the department, concerned departments. We also know Kartik month is quickly approaching. It will be starting from October 9th. And during this month, there will be, as usual, as always, during Damodar month, we have temple program in the evening. So all of you can invite your friends and relatives. And also, if those who want to arrange Damodar program in their houses or in their apartments, please contact for any support and guidance to Ashok Prabhu and Prasadeshwar Krishna Prabhu. They will do the needful. They'll help provide all the facilities and provide all the help that is needed. So Kartik month, please make a note. We'll be starting from October 9th. Today we have received some names for sponsors. I think we had just one name probably earlier, but I have received some few names today while the class was going on. We have Sri Bhagwan Prabhu, who has co-sponsored Prasadam. We also have His Grace Ravi Lochan Gaurang Prabhu, who has sponsored Prasadam. We also have His Grace Mathura Sham Prabhu, who has sponsored Prasadam, and Prasannatma Balaram Prabhu, who also sponsored Prasadam. I think Prasannatma Balaram Prabhu has sponsored a bag of rice for today. So I would request these devotees to contact Pramonita Prabhu and to make the payments and also collect the receipts. We also have Gopal Prabhu. So Gopal Prabhu is also sponsoring Prasadam. So Venugopal Prabhu is also sponsoring Prasadam today. So let us all chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for these wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. We'll have Jagannath Ashtakam now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining today for the Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya. We'll be continuing tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Hare Krishna. I'll just end the session now. Prabhupada.